Welcome back, everybody. Today we got a range review for you of this beast right here. This is one of my latest purchases here. This is a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Now, there's a few different models made. Some of them have different porting. This one here has the side ports as well as the top ports. Some of them come with just top ports. They come with different barrel lengths. This one here has one of the longer barrels. I think they go all the way out to 10-inch barrels on these suckers and all the way down to like 2.5. So different models out there. They're all built on the X frame, which is this gigantic frame made to be able to handle the power of this round. A few things just after shooting it for a few days that I've noticed. Number one, it's heavy. It's super heavy. It's like it weighs more than some rifles that I own. That's a good thing, in my opinion, for this type of gun. It helps to reduce the recoil, which is still there, and it's pretty stout. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But it definitely is needed to soak up that recoil and to handle just the pressures that this round is generating. Very, very high pressures in this round, without question. So I suppose we should mention that going forward. Sort of a little safety brief. I know a lot of my audience isn't super revolver savvy. So things we want to talk about, even if you're shooting like a 38 special revolver, you're going to want to keep your hand when you're shooting, or your fingers out from the front of that cylinder there. A lot of guys like to shoot really far, thumbs forward with semi-autos. You don't want to do that with a revolver. You know, you do it with a 38 or even a 357 mag, you're going to get a burn, maybe a cut, maybe a bruise. You do it with this, you're going to lose your finger. So it's definitely not something to play with. This will absolutely shear your thumb off if you put your thumb in front of it. So safety brief right there. Don't do that if you pick one of these guns up. Additionally, you guys have probably seen videos out there on the internet of you know, first-time shooters, sometimes small females or children, shooting these and having it come back and hit them in the head. So if you're gonna have somebody shoot this gun who's not all that experienced, I recommend only loading one round. Reason I say that is some of you guys probably know there was a young lady that someone handed her one of these and really didn't train her well enough or prepare her for what happened. The round went off. The recoil was very violent. Obviously, she couldn't control it very well due to poor technique. Came back under her chin, and because she was trying to grab the gun to restabilize her grip, she shot herself in the head. So, safety warning, guys. It's a serious gun, not a toy. All guns are obviously serious, but this one has some additional things going for it. We'll take a few shots here on steel and then kind of get into it a little bit more. We've got some shootsteel.com targets down there. The one on the right is a pistol target. Definitely not rated for this at all. So we're going to see how it does and just test it out a little bit. The one on the left should be able to handle it just fine. It's a rifle target. So we'll fire a few shots double action and just know what we think about that. Target seems to be holding up well. The double action on this gun is honestly, it's pretty typical for Smith & Wessons. If you guys are familiar with like an L frame, it's going to feel very similar to that type of trigger pull. Heavy, but smooth. Very, very smooth. I'll fire the rest of them here in single action, and I'm going to tell you right now, this gun, a lot of people are going to look at it for hunting purposes or big game or, you know, Alaskan bear protection if you're out there hiking or a guide or something like that. The single action trigger on this is one of the nicest, if not the nicest triggers on any gun we've ever felt here. It's phenomenal, which is odd being on this gun. But for hunters, people who are going to hunt with it, it's definitely something you're going to enjoy. And of course, it's drilled and tapped on top if you want to add a scope on there. So, a few single action shots. The target's taking it pretty well. I'm not bad about that at all, but the single action, like we said, is awesome. And one thing that is never going to go away with a gun like this is you have an instinct to flinch, regardless of how many shots you've shot through firearms or ones that have this type of recoil. But in single action, it's almost impossible to do because you just touch it and the shot breaks. So what we're going to do now is chrono a couple of these loads and let you know what kind of power we're actually talking about numbers-wise. One thing about a 500 Magnum gun is that there's not exactly ammo in every local gun shop around the country or Walmart or something like that. Sure, like your Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, stuff like that will have it. Plenty of places online will have it as well. None of my typical ammo sponsors make this load though. So we reached out to Federal and they sent out some 325 grade fusion ammo that we've been using throughout the review. Thanks to them for doing that. And that's what we're going to put on the chronograph here. and see just what kind of velocities we're getting out of that. And keep in mind that's a 325 grain pill coming out of a revolver. So without more gabbing, let's get to it. Pretty good numbers there. It's really hard to quantify via a camera what it actually feels like when you're shooting the gun with those velocities that you guys just saw. Here's what I would say. It doesn't really hurt my wrists at all. And really it doesn't hurt my hand at all unless I'm shooting, like when I shoot a full cylinder through it, bang, 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 your hand feels it. It's a little bit tender. It does have these nice hoe grips on the back, which do a good job of soaking up the recoil, you know, as much as you can, but everything is relative. It's still got some power to it, no doubt about it. A few other things here. First off, cost. They're not cheap. It's not cheap to build this kind of gun, but build quality on this gun is phenomenal. The finish is really nice. The steel, there's no chatter marks anywhere. Everything feels good. You know, releasing the cylinder is positive. For those of you guys that see there, it's 5 shots, if I didn't mention that already in there. The cone there looks very solid, very beefy. Everything just feels good. The trigger feels good. It's solid. It's what you'd expect, but the gun's not cheap. I think the MSRP is somewhere in the $1,400 range. Of course, you're going to find it a little bit less out there in the streets. Sights are excellent as well. They're adjustable for windage here in the back, windage and elevation. And this one here is a fiber optic. There's different models with different sights on there, but they're all pretty good, very usable sights. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you can put a scope on there if you want to. Really, you know, do I recommend the gun? Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for a gun that's going to have a lot of power, you know, the most powerful gun in the handgun in the world, definitely one to take a look at. I mean, this gun makes Dirty Harry look like a 9-year-old schoolgirl when you're shooting it. It's definitely got some balls behind it. There's no getting around it. This is just sort of like a quick range review. Reason being, we're going to shoot a bunch of stuff with this gun. This is my gun. I bought this gun, and we're going to take it out and shoot whatever, any kind of different things through it, whatever you guys want. Of course, you know, you've seen plenty of videos online of folks shooting watermelon with it, but I want to kind of get creative. So below in the comment section, if you have an idea of what you'd like to see, I should say, take one of these 500 Magnum loads, let me know. Just post it down there, and I'll look at what you guys think and select the ones that I think would be pretty good entertainment there. But if you guys have any questions about the gun that we didn't cover here in the video, by all means, post below in the comments section. We'll hopefully get to them. But stay tuned for those follow-up videos of us trying to just shoot a bunch of crap with this gun. Should be fun. Should be some good video as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.